Here's my story. I'm about 15 years old and I'm in my bedroom and I'm on my phone. And I'm using an app that I should not be using. I'm on a to-do list app. On this to-do list app, I'm adding like multiple different chapters of what I'm going to study and exactly how many chapters I'm going to study. Because I watched a video that said like, oh yeah, you should specify exactly the task you're going to do and how much you're going to do it and when you're going to do it. So I'm doing that, right? I'm on the to-do list app. I set up, okay, social studies, 3 chapters, physics, 2 chapters and everything. And then also like math, 1 chapter because I'm bad at math. I make this, right? And then I forget about it. I forget about it for 1 day, and the next day, and the 3rd day. And then I just open it because I accidentally clicked on the to-do list app and I'm like, oh wait, I gotta do this. So I do 1 chapter. And then I don't do the rest. This is because, in my opinion, to-do lists don't work, especially when you're trying to study. To-do lists can work. To-do lists are actually very good when you want to complete these like small tasks, like small menial tasks around your house or small tasks on your computer. But when it comes to studying and learning a certain topic, to-do lists just don't work. To-do lists kind of make it worse. First of all, I'm glad that you want to study and improve your studying skill. There are a lot of students out there who, first of all, don't even study. And second of all, even if they do study, they don't actively search out ways to improve their studying skill and get better at studying. So it's so good that you're over here learning and improving your knowledge on this. And I promise you, by the end of today, or end of this video, I'll teach you a way that you can learn in a way that's based off curiosity. The key to being able to learn exceptionally is curiosity. Curiosity is basically your brain wanting to learn something. Studying is the complete opposite. Studying is when you learn based off you need to learn so that you can write something else in the future. What is studying, right? Studying is basically you open the book and then you memorize a few lines or you understand this topic for the pure like reason of, okay, I want to write this in the exam 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now. You're not learning. If there's curiosity, then it's not studying. Curiosity is when you're curious about the topic and then you learn about it so that it gets in your mind purely because your brain is curious about it. For example, I could be curious about sleep right now. Like I want to learn about sleep. So I can watch a podcast on sleep, right? And then that would improve my knowledge on sleep because I am curious about the sleep like topic and then I go learn about sleep. Common sense, right? But if I'm not curious about sleep and I force myself to watch a sleep podcast purely because it was on my schedule or to-do list, what happens is, sure, I might learn, sure, I might actually get the knowledge in my head, but since I'm not curious about it, I'm not going to be able to get it in my head as much. Thing is, our feelings tend to go against us. Our feelings, obviously, like if you follow your feelings, you're gonna get into like a rut. If you follow your feelings on what you want to eat, you probably eat junk food. If you follow your feelings on when you want to exercise, you'll probably never exercise. If you follow your feelings on when you want to study, you'll probably barely study in your life. But when it comes to learning, you actually somewhat have to follow your feelings. When you follow your feelings based on curiosity, you'll automatically like learn things like 5 times faster. You know this. When you're curious about a topic, for example, let's just say in a video game, there's like a certain method to kill this like enemy. Like for example, I was playing a game called Warframe, and in that there was a big enemy called an Eidolon. Now an Eidolon is like this big, basically a boss fight, right? And there's a certain like method you gotta learn to kill it. You need like 4 people and everything. You gotta like get the teams, get the certain characters and everything to kill this Eidolon. Now you can't just know how to kill an Eidolon. You can't just study how to kill an Eidolon. You gotta like learn it. And generally, when you want to kill an Eidolon, that's when you're curious about how to kill an Eidolon, right? You wouldn't just search up, I want to kill an Eidolon at like 3 a.m. when you're not playing the game. It's only when you're curious about it. That's when you search up, how do I kill an Eidolon with 4 people? And then you learn because you're curious about it. If I schedule the time, if I put, okay, 4 p.m. on a Sunday, you're gonna learn how do you kill an Eidolon. Even if you don't care about killing Eidolons, you'll watch the video, but then you won't learn much. You're getting the idea, right? Curiosity is the key to learning. Now, how do you study in this way? Because studying, you can't really like go by curiosity, because chances are you don't even care about studying. What I would say is, look at all the like subjects you have. For example, I had 5 subjects. Look at the 5 subjects you have, and then pick the subject that is the constraint. The constraint is basically what's holding you back, right? In business, constraints are basically what's holding you back. For example, in like a business group, imagine there's 3 departments, right? There's sales, there's marketing, and there's production. Sales is the guy selling the product, marketing is the guy marketing the product, advertising and everything, and production is the guy producing the product. If I'm getting good production, and I'm getting good marketing, which means the ads are really good and the production is really good, we have high quantity, but the sales are lacking, then that's the constraint, right? That's the thing that's holding my business back from gaining money. So I'm going to improve my sales thing. Maybe I'll train them to be better salesmen or hire more salesmen. But maybe, okay, that's not the constraint. Maybe I fix those constraints, but then 2 years down the line, the production falls. So basically I have enough sales, right? I have a lot of salesmen and I have a lot of marketing people that market my product perfectly fine. But then the production falls. Like, there's not enough of the product to sell. So that's the constraint. You got to focus on the constraint. So back to the 5 subjects. What is the constraint that you're feeling? Maybe you're good at science, maybe you're good at English, maybe you're good at this subject, that subject, but there's this one subject that you suck at. That's what you're going to be curious about. That's when you'll be like, okay, I want to learn about this subject. You want to convince yourself that, okay, for the next 90 minutes, I'm going to go learn about this topic. Now, whether or not it's the hardest topic of the topic or maybe it's the easiest basic, that doesn't matter. You want to just be curious about it and then learn. The more curious you are about something, because again, if you schedule the time to study this, like for example, it would be math, right? Example, you can replace this with any of your subject. If this was the thing that you scheduled to learn, chances are you won't learn it much. We learned that curiosity is the key to learning. But if you're curious about it, if you just look at, if it's just a study block of 90 minutes, right? And then you're like, what am I curious about? What do I want to improve my skill on? And then you pick the hard subject. Okay, I want to learn about the subject. For 90 minutes, you'll be curious, okay, how do I learn about this? And you're just explaining and researching a topic. Even if it's just the basics, even if you suck at it, and you're learning like the basic, like base level 1 of that subject in that textbook, that's still way better, right? So you want to make sure you implement curiosity. That's what nobody tells you when it comes to studying. They all tell you, okay, you should schedule this, you should schedule that. And I agree, you should schedule. But when some subjects are way too hard to the point where you just blatantly sitting there against your will studying this one thing, you won't learn anything. It would be much better is you specify, okay, I'm going to study in 90 minutes and I want to pick beforehand, what am I going to be curious about, right? What's the constraint? What do I really want to learn? Not what I'm going to schedule, not what I need to learn. What does my brain think is the constraint right now? And you do this for 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, and eventually you'll fix all your constraints. And eventually you'll get a habit of fixing your constraints. So the next time you want to study, you know exactly what you suck at. So now you can be curious about that topic and then you can learn. This is what got me like ahead. I was going to fail and I basically almost saved myself. I saved myself. I got 75%. Give or take a few percentages in my board, which is my final exam, and I was en route to fail. 75 isn't like a lot, like it's not massive, but considering I was en route to fail, 75 is pretty good, right? So this is what can save you if you're failing, and this is especially what can save you if you feel like, okay, I want to get 95, but I feel like I'm gonna get 85. Especially for like the topper students, this also works. Even for the people who don't, like I'm one of those guys who just doesn't like studying, so I like just passing. I got 75, which is in my opinion pretty good. I have more videos like this on my channel. You can go click this one and be suggested or subscribe to my channel. Bye.